Hi, today is the 4th of November and it is on a Tuesday. I just wanted to share my reflection, which is quite beautiful and funny. Today morning, I had the opportunity to read and meditate on the Word of God, and the devotion was on Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 to 8. I think it would be such a good reminder for all of us to know that there is a time and place for everything, and even though we go through some difficulties, there will also be a time where things will be reset for His will, not for our purpose, but for His will and for His sovereign plan, which may include that we have to suffer as part of that. So let me begin. There is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens. A time to be born and a time to die. A time to plan and a time to uproot. A time to kill and a time to heal. A time to tear down and a time to build. A time to weep and a time to laugh. A time to mourn and a time to dance. A time to scatter stones and a time to gather them. A time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. A time to search and a time to give up. A time to keep and a time to throw away. A time to tear and a time to mend. A time to be silent and a time to speak. A time to love and a time to hate. A time for war and a time for peace. There's a time for everything. Lord, help me to drive my life in a way that I can know the time to do your purpose in these attributes that is presented in Ecclesiastes. I really want to follow you through my actions, and if I'm not, please show me where I need to correct myself. Lord, now if I think about these beautiful verses, it has been such an essential thing to set myself and study my faith, because I need to unswerve my convictions to what my Lord is showing me, that there is a time for everything, and in His time He will make everything beautiful. Sometimes I need to be patient and wait for His time, and that means there is a time for me to be silent, and I'm hoping that that time will come and I will be pleasantly joyous at that moment. I can fight for being joyful, and that's not on anyone but me. Now, one of the funny things that happened at work is, as I'm working through data with my colleague, we go for these stand-ups or catch-ups, right? At that point, we were talking about how we need to prepare the data, or how we have to upload a letter, and all that kind of activities were discussed in that meeting. Suddenly one of them said, because we are trying to identify people to register them for one of these projects, right? So while we were trying to identify people from whatever is in the system, like existing people, or whether we update an existing record or whether we create a new one, okay? So it's like, you have to look and hunt for people. So then suddenly one of the people who were doing the job, and we were analyzing the data, they came up and said, you know what? I think you both are in the process of matchmaking. And I started laughing my heart out, because in Netflix there is a show called Indian Matchmaker. All right, and I surprisingly thought of that, and I had a laugh, and we all had a laugh, because we are analyzing data, but in essence he's right. We are Indian matchmakers. Oh, sorry, not Indian, I meant matchmakers. And similar to that show as Indian Matchmaker, we are matchmaking. But I think the Netflix show would be way more enjoyable than what we are doing. Therefore, we all had some fun talking about it, and I thought it would be a memorable moment in my life to present that funny moment. I don't know how anyone will relate to this, but I definitely was having so much fun talking about that. And then in one of the other incidents as part of this, my friend, the work colleague was a Bengali, and we were all talking together, and I said Bengali, um, Bengali dialogue, that Ami tu balubashi, and I thought that meant hi, how are you? And I said, and I first said it so distinctly different. So he said, no, this is how you say it, Ami tu balubashi. And I was like, oh, okay. What does that mean? Hi, how are you? He said, no, it means I love you. I said, oh, no, that's not what I wanted to tell you. And we had a laugh about that too. And then I changed what I said, and he taught me how you say hi, how are you? And we all had a laugh. And that because me and my colleague are into the matchmaking of finding people, they all said this is quite appropriate for this part of the event of making sure that we share and show people how to love others. So there you go. So we are called the matchmakers for this project, and I wanted to just share that with everyone. I hope you all have these moments in your life to share, and if you do, please comment below with where you've had some fun or a quirky smile on your lips, when you experience that moment today. Thank you for listening in. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.